let's talk about the big announcement that we're getting from Boeing. Obviously, we have the quarterly results, but more focus here this morning, at least from a Wall Street perspective, I'm sure from a shareholder perspective, on the new CEO. Curious just to get your reaction to that news and whether or not you're confident here in his ability to really guide Boeing in the right direction.
Yeah, thanks, Sean, and great to be back. I think Mr. Ortberg getting picked as the CEO is likely a great pick. Obviously, he has a strong resume, engineering background, operating in a complex technical environment. He has experience with the FAA and the Department of Defense, and he ran a large cap or aerospace and defense company for multiple years until the merger. And he's a Boeing outsider, right? He's never been there before. So I think it sort of checks all the boxes of probably most of the investor base that was interested in this event, and they got it out of the way. It's going to start August 8th, and I think it's a next step of blocking and tackling for Boeing to get back to sort of where they were. On their way. So all good. It's a large holding for us in our Gabelli GCAT ETF. It's the number one ETF for aerospace and defense this year. It's triple the aerospace and defense index, the S&P index. So I think we got a lot of potential with Boeing coming up.
You just said something fascinating to me, Lieutenant Colonel, which is all good about Boeing. I haven't heard that phraseology with this company in a while. What do you think is on the new CEO's plate that he will be able to make things actually all good for investors in this calendar year? What do you think he's going to be able to do to turn the company around? Yeah,
and I apologize. I think Madison, I think obviously Boeing has a lot on their plate. Operationally, this quarter was not a good quarter. But I think everyone expects that. There's a lot of operating leverage in this business, and when production rates are at the rates they're at right now, below optimal capacity or utilization, it's just gonna burn cash. So I think number one, Boeing needs to work with the FAA and come up with a plan, which it sounds like they're doing, to get to that 38 cap lifted for the 737 MAX. Obviously, there's a lot going on with supply chain that's ubiquitous across the industry, and they need to close this deal, which is not going to happen until mid next year. So we'll see what happens there. But I think they're all going the right direction. I think the plan, for getting to 38 a month, I think that's on track as it sounds. And the big picture is the thesis is intact, right? Commercial aerospace is growing, continues to grow above world GDP rates. They're going to need 40,000 plus airplanes over the next 20 years. And then Boeing is in a duopoly with Airbus. All things being equal, there's not going to be another contender coming in with heavy regulation from the FAA. And then on the defense side, these defense contracts that are development contracts that are fixed price on them, those are going to start rolling off, and you're going to start seeing better performance there. So I think we're looking pretty good going forward.
Yeah, really, really great points there, especially on the lack of a true competitor in the space. One potential headwind I want to get your take on while we have you is that the company has to strike a labor agreement with its machinist union. They want a 40% pay increase. How much are you pricing that in as a potential headwind for the stock moving forward? Because that's a significant amount of money that they're going to have to prepare for on their balance sheet here.
Yeah, I think that's always going to be a challenge with any large manufacturer. You have a huge base of labor that there's a lot of unionization in this industry, and I think it's just sort of it's part of the business that they're going to have to negotiate. And I think they come from overall strong position where they're a large manufacturer, but at the same time the unions. These people work hard, and they have a highly skilled employees, and they're likely going to negotiate tough as well. So I think in the long run it's going to work out. I think the bigger picture is the operating leverage that this business creates, and when we start getting back to those production rates, it's going to be a lot better.
I'm curious, when we talk about the long road that's ahead for Boeing, the number of issues, challenges ahead here for the new CEO, what do you expect Boeing to look like, not just 6 months from now, but a year from now? Is it going to be a significantly different company in terms of the operations and how it's run?
I think that they're going to be able to get back to, production rates that were sort of where they were headed before the January 5th incident. So I think you'll probably see next year around this time, you'll be seeing, rates obviously above what they are now, and then continuing, sort of onward. Obviously, they put a lot into quality assurance and, in production efficiency and quality. And I think you're going to see just that continuing to go. And I'm sure that, Mr. Ortberg is going to do a great job with that.
All right, we will see again Boeing, a top trending ticker here on Yahoo Finance today. We're actually looking at some gains here for Boeing's shares in early trading. All right, Lieutenant Colonel Tony Bancroft, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks, Nancy.